Good evening, everyone. I hope you and your families are doing well. Thank you for having me tonight. As promised when we met back in August, I am here tonight to update you on the progress of my office as the Director of Instructional Technology. I am pleased to say that as of tonight, under my 30 days, I have either hit or made significant progress on every one of my 30-day goals. I've introduced myself to all staff and begun sending out emails on a weekly basis that include pedagogy to both low-tech and high-tech tips. Prior to my move over to central office, I've spent a lot of time troubleshooting instructional issues teachers were having in their classrooms, either with Google Meets or tool identification and implementation for lessons, or other software issues that teachers may have been having. I've had many conversations with each of the building principals about their visions for their buildings, as well as a meeting planned with Mr. Morcillo to discuss our one-to-one initiative and all that that entails. I have also asked Mr. Johnson to provide me with the dimensions of all the media centers to begin looking at how that may tie into our long-range facility plan that we have coming up. I've provided professional learning sessions for staff at all 4 buildings based on renowned authors, educational researchers, and teachers, John Hattie, Nancy Fry, and Doug Fisher, and their newly released distance learning playbook. They've also released a distance learning playbook for parents, which I ordered weeks ago and was finally released on Monday. And I'm anxiously awaiting my copy. I keep checking the mailbox. When that comes in and I read through it, I'll be providing informal informational sessions for parents to help them navigate through this time as well. Because let's face it, this is new, uncharted waters for all of us. Depending on the content of the book and our current situation, I will work out the logistics of the format of these sessions and communicate that with you as soon as possible. And finally, I am happy to say that I have found Mr. Mango and Mrs. Grigoletti to be very helpful in terms of feedback, guidance, and support as I make this transition over to central office. And for that, I sincerely thank you. While I've made progress on these goals, I do not want to indicate that they are finished. This is the first layer of much more to come. In fact, you may be asking, how is my office helping our community educationally? Well, you may have noticed that I skipped over bullet number 3. That's not because it hasn't happened. It's because I wanted to give our new instructional technology coordinators a proper introduction. So, last week, we interviewed for our instructional technology coordinators, and I believe we have a great team. I would like to congratulate Ms. Carrie Munson from Hatchery Hill, Ms. Leanne Schwenk from Willow Grove, Ms. Wendy Flynn from the middle school, and Ms. Rachel Gorski from the high school. This was not an easy selection. These women were not only impressive in their interviews, but they are incredibly qualified. We have already had our first meeting with a great to-do list, and we've started planning our professional learning opportunities for our staff. They're working on researching some initiatives for the future, but understand that at this point in time, our main focus is on supporting the teachers and students in our building by providing them with the training that they need for the resources that we have at this point in time. If you venture over to the Hackettstown website, if you go under the Curriculum tab, there is a new Director of Instructional Technology tab. If you click there, you will notice that there is a new website here with all sorts of resources, everything here from a quick bio on my background to quick help guides in both English and Spanish on how to navigate Google Classroom, to information on technology standards from ISTE, information on an hour of code, which is a great program that we as a district are looking into, as well as digital citizenship. Up here, you will also find information on cyberbullying, HIB contacts, as well as resources for mental health. And a bit further up on the page, you will see the tab for our district long-term instructional technology plan. While the plan is not up on our website, this is something that I have poured a lot of effort into and is something that I would like to discuss with you at this time. Our long-range instructional plan is one that's dependent on many things. It will tie into our strategic plan that we worked so hard as a collaborative team to build last fall and winter. It has to correspond with our infrastructure plan and our facilities plan, the Office of Curriculum and Instruction, and of course, budget considerations. So, of course, our primary purpose of our long-range instructional plan is to improve student achievement through the accomplishment of our strategic plan goals. So how do we do that? There are six main components as I see this. Now, keep in mind, through further conversations, this may change. It's a living document that needs to be pliable and adjustable to the needs of our students, our situation, and our district. So number one, infrastructure. Mr. Morcillo and the entire tech team did a great job this summer identifying the needs we were going to have as the district went one-to-one. We increased our bandwidth and access points. I've been so impressed with what our team had been able to do with such efficiency and foresight. We haven't had any significant issues in this area at all. Our cameras have made classroom instruction available to our students at home and ensured that they're receiving the same lessons as their peers in the classroom. Hackettstown School District has truly been ahead of the curve. My office will continue to work with Mr. Morcillo to ensure that all of our students' needs are being met moving forward and that we have proper procedures in place as we move to one-to-one. An upgrade of facilities in coordination with the strategic plan, facilities plan, and budget considerations. Upgrades on facilities in specifics, at this point, I can't speak to. But what I can tell you is I've met with each of the building principals and discussed what they hope to see change in their buildings. I've asked our Director of Buildings and Grounds, Mr. Carl Johnson, to get measurements for the footprints of all the media centers. I do envision this project very organically based. I would love for the kids of each building to have input as to what they would like the space to look like. Ideally, I'd love to work with some of the programs at the high school to help design the space and report out to either the Community Relations Committee or the board or both as a whole to what the progress looks like that's being made. I truly feel like having a homegrown investment in these spaces is crucial to having them being utilized to their fullest potential once they are completed. Also to our advantage, two of the new instructional technology coordinators, Ms. Schwank and Ms. Munson, are media center specialists, which I also believe will give us a unique vantage point when considering the redesign of these spaces. We need to make sure that these are functional spaces for individual learning, collaboration, and class environments. We have all seen these amazing pictures of futuristic looking spaces, but what is really important to me is that these spaces will be a place where meaningful learning can take place. Speaking of which, a focus on teaching and learning. You may have heard that good teaching is good teaching. It doesn't matter what the course is. Well, just like everything else 2020 has thrown at us, it's also redefining good teaching. Never before did good teaching require kids in a hybrid model while socially distanced, while wearing a mask. It's all different. Our Hackettstown faculty is doing a great job discovering the best ways to engage their students, both physically in front of them and on the computer. They're using programs and trying new methods of teaching. What we will be doing from my office is determining what tools are working, which ones are not, what tools the teachers are using, which ones they aren't, which tools we could be providing for students, and which ones we can eliminate. It's our hope that we can narrow down our paid subscriptions to what's being effectively used and either reduce the amount of money spent or reallocate it so it's better spent in more appropriate ways. Right now, our focus is on improving the practice of what we are already doing, ensuring that teachers are comfortable with the format in which they are operating. This is a new and different year for everyone. We want to make sure that the teachers feel supported in this new environment and try things in the new virtual world. In order to provide that support, we're going to hit the ground running. I, along with the instructional technology coordinators, have outlined certain goals. We'll be creating school-specific Google Classroom guides for both teachers and parents. We will also begin monitoring the use and implementation of building-specific technology resources. Again, what are we using and what can we repurpose? Planning building-based sessions for the October Professional Development Day. District-wide monthly newsletter for staff with helpful hints and tips. Scheduled monthly Power PDs. It's a combination of traditional pedagogy and how it translates into the tech world. We will create a schedule so there's a constant flow of professional learning coming out of my office, in addition to what Mrs. Grigoletti is providing from the Office of Curriculum and Instruction. We also plan to incorporate how do I surveys as a constant check-in. Very often people don't know what they don't know until they realize they don't know it. Keeping this as an open form of communication allows people to alert the ITCs and me what they would like more information on in real time. Which brings us to number 5, safety and security development. My office will work with Mr. Mango, Mrs. Grigoletti, as well as Mr. Morcillo and Mr. Spears as we embark on this one-to-one venture to determine any loopholes in our systems. We want to close gaps in extension students may be using or threats to the reliability of our assessments and other things to that nature. An educational philosopher, Robert John Meehan, said, "The most valuable resources that all teachers have are each other." This couldn't be more true. We will be researching resources that will benefit our students to help them succeed, to help close the achievement gap and make education more fun for them. We will provide resources for the teachers in a way that allows them to have tools in their toolboxes, but not mandate an implementation of program after program. My role right now is to be one of support and guidance. We'll get through this new world together and carve a new path. While my work on the long-term instructional plan will continue, there are other goals that I will be pursuing and researching as well. An Hour of Code, which originally started in 2013, is a great initiative to bring to Hackettstown School District to increase the awareness of the power of computer science and the impact of coding. I already have our instructional technology coordinators looking into the digital citizenship certification for our district to see if they believe it's something that we can reasonably accomplish this year and begin to put together a plan on how to achieve that at each building. We're also looking into future-ready school recognition. I spoke earlier of an organic program which will allow students to be involved in the redesign of the media centers. We're also going to take advantage of the situation that the pandemic forced us into and explore the possibility of offering a few complete online courses for our students next year. It is also necessary, and this will be done in conjunction with the Director of Curriculum and Instruction, to really look and reevaluate the curriculum to integrate basic computer skills and digital awareness. On a personal note, I have a second grader in another district who was just handed a Chromebook with no instruction on how to use it or how to properly type, and it's expected for him to be virtual 3 days a week. That's a disservice to him. He's frustrated before he begins schoolwork. That's not conducive to his learning. I want to make sure that we at Hackettstown School District do better for our students. We together will also review and expand our STEM program so that it is vertically articulated and cohesive in nature. And with all of this, we will look into digital badging and determine if it's a fit for our district. Everyone loves to see their accomplishments, but we need to do our research and see if this is the way we want to display them. As all of this continues to take shape and our meetings continue, I will give you updates as to our progress, not only in our program, but as to our plan. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to email me. Thank you for your time, your attention, and have a great evening.